See what kind. I'm just gonna wait till someone appears. We've got to test if chat is actually working. Okay, chat is not working, as always. There. Okay. Wow, 4 people out of nowhere. That was random. It's surprising. So we're just gonna talk about some more things that I forgot in the video that also cut off like the last minute or 2 of the video for absolutely no reason. Because... is that a threat? Anyway, because I tried to cut out literally a single second or so of video, and it just decided to cut off the entire last portion. So anyway. So, people have already pointed out, well, for one, there's Forget there, and I didn't mention that. I noticed it, I just didn't mention it. People have already pointed out that we usually explore Hometown during the dawn, I guess. Something like midday, and it's near night, whatever. So Hometown Day is actually like the beginning of the day, because obviously the Chapter 3 fountain was created in the middle of the night, so by the time it's over, it will be day. And they'll probably have a large Hometown section, and I just realized that the church stuff is for Chapter 3, just... it... like... that... it makes sense, like, if the Chapter 4 fountain was was in the church, we wouldn't be seeing people from the light world in the church in the light world. What the heck is this, chat? Anyway. But, so obviously Chapter 3, the church is going to be a normal church. We're going to see in the church. We're going to see people doing normal people things. In quotation marks. But in Chapter 3, there's not going to be any people, because it did say that they are going to church tomorrow in Chapter 2. So, obviously, they're going to be at church in Chapter 3. And we're going to see them in church. Everyone's going to be there. Whatever. And also the festival thing, that is probably what's behind the tape in the town. But anyway. What was I saying? I'm too distracted by this chat. What are you going on about? This has nothing to do with Deltarune. Also, what in the heck? Oh, that's probably Sakurai's stuff. Yeah, Sakurai made a YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. You should subscribe. It's called Sakurai on Making Games. Anyway. Yeah, the screenshot already basically confirms that mortorial activity will be in Chapter 3. But note that people figured out is that the file names all have, like, I don't even know how you get the file names of this stuff, but they've all got Chapter 4 in the title. For the songs, at least. So, I don't know what that could mean. We could easily just be having more hometown every single chapter. But, yeah. I don't know. It might be to throw us off. This part has got me confused. First, this freaking thing, and second, it's raining. So there's going to be weather. I assume that's just one chapter will have it raining. I don't think there's going to be a weather cycle or any of that, whatever. But anyway, there is a person standing outside my door right now. He reincarnated into Jesus Christ. Here is what that's. Well, it looks like I'll be needing to go into another room anyway. I have migrated to the south. I've migrated to the south. Now, the thing I didn't notice, so I already was joking slash, like, half joke, half serious. Obviously, the TVs being there being immediate confirmation of Mike Deltarune was a joke, but this whole area, I do believe, is confirming that Chapter 3 is exactly what we've been theorizing it was. But something I didn't realize, well, for one thing, a green room is apparently where actors hang out backstage, I guess. Where they just chill. Let's just... There's no reason to not play the music. Play the music. And it also said it took place in... Like, when I heard the music, I'm just like, oh, it's a rules room. Well, for one thing, I didn't realize the music and the room were connected, even though it was super obvious, and that quote showed up after it says there's more Dark Worlds, not after it was talking about Castletown, which is something I didn't realize. But this room is actually Chris and Ralph's room in the Dark World. If you look at it closely, it all matches perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but like... I don't remember, did Chris have a computer or game system on their side of the room? I don't remember. But Azrael definitely did. And there's even one of those mouses right there. The mouse. The mouse. Which is the first time I think we've seen something that can appear in different Dark Worlds. Like, obviously, that isn't a mouse from Chapter 2 Dark World that traveled here. That's there. That was the mouse from Azrael's computer. I don't know what else is back there. But the stars everywhere are also really important. Because those mimic the stars that are on Chris's wall. And how the rooms are in half and one is bright and one is all dingy. Well, actually, I think the only thing that's worse on each side, on the other side, is the couch, which would be the bed, probably. And look, it's the cactuses that are always in Oriole's house. Everything else is I don't know. Everything else. It's just stuff. But am I crazy, or is this theme? Like, is this not a theme that is used anywhere? Other than the hip shop? Is this a leitmotif or not? I don't freaking remember. Well, it was never Rules Card's shop, it's just the hip shop, which has appeared twice in Deltarune now. It's not exclusive to Rules. It's the hip shop. The weird part here is that this is not a shop. This is just a room. I don't know what I just did, but I did something. But this isn't a shop, so this would be the first time this theme is heard outside of a shop, I think. Is this a leitmotif that is heard somewhere else? I don't think so. I think this has just been so far, like, Toei loves to reuse leitmotifs in everything, even when they're not related. But I think, well, first I think my stupid is stupiding. No, no one's chatting. Well, but the stupid isn't stupiding. So that's great. You know, I should have just done a stream initially for the reaction for everything. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I guess it's because I just woke up. But then again, everyone else would be asleep, so at that point. So that actually probably would have been a better, more convenient opportunity. But I'm dumb and make stupid decisions very quickly. So yeah, the green room is basically... Oh yeah, who could forget the quote? The quote Toby gave for the room is also, "Relax and enjoy a world of cutting-edge entertainment." Literally, what else could that be? We had the internet world already. So what else could there be for cutting-edge entertainment other than a TV world? Like, nothing. Like, what other forms of entertainment are there out there? Like, toys? We already had Toy World, practically. We completely had Board Game World. And with extra toys, and there's not... Like, that's the thing about Toy World, is half of toys that exist are based on things from TV. So, a Toy World's kind of pointless. And there ain't no way that the cutting-edge entertainment, a world of cutting-edge entertainment, is the freaking diner. Which is actually something I saw someone say. yes, that they do put TVs where you eat, but as I already stated in the first video, they're like the TVs are clearly the main focus here, and the food is just kind of there. If that's even food, it's just a platter. Anything could be under it. But yeah, gonna flip my screen again because it's voice crack central up in here. Like, dream. Anyway. Oh yeah, hold this. Sip boxing. I like to imagine somehow she's holding those two speakers together. It's like, yeah, and if she stopped, they would just like crumble into dust. No, they just explode with the same green screen explosion effect. For absolutely no reason. Also, why am I talking delayed? Like, I talk one sentence and then I finish it after a really long, awkward pause. So yeah, that's all the official stuff. And now I'm gonna reveal one of my stupid unlisted playlists. The fake Deltarune Oast. This is basically all of my Deltarune predictions made from other people's videos. Because, you know, I just agree with a lot of fan theories. It's like some people think that they're these swag Giga Chads for, like, not agreeing with the popular theories, but oh boy, look at what we got. The most common theory ended up being the one with the most evidence. Who would have guessed? Oh yeah, also the thing about all of them being labeled with Chapter 4 is that the green room is the one that was not labeled with Chapter 4. By the way, it's the music that was labeled, not the anything else. But ooh, back to that. It's starting to feel like a city in here, quote, in, if that is for a Chapter 4 song, then that would imply that Chapter 3 is also going to be a city. Boom. Anyway, it's time to look at some of this. Cliffs. I believe that the first part of Chapter 3 will start with Chris and Susie separated. Like, the whole area is just the giant couch. And because they're on opposite sides of the couch, they've just been separated. They show up completely unaware. Well, Susie completely unaware, and Chris seemingly unaware because they don't talk. Barely at all. So yeah, reuse of the cliffs maybe. Could always bring in a different new song, but like, why would... This song is barely ever used, ever. So why would you not use it? Reuse it? It's like used for one single freaking tiny little area. Literally could have just reused the... What was it called? The closet? What was the... I put it in here, didn't I? Did I not? I know I put it in here. I might have accidentally removed it because I'm dumb. Gallery at the holy... The door. The door. Yeah, they could have just reused this. And no one would have even cared. No one would have batted an eye. And they even do reuse the door when you get to empty Castletown for the very first time. So, like, the cliffs were pretty neglected. They should return. Obviously, you got the battle theme. This is one of the best overworld mic themes that have been made. At this rate, the fans may make it a fan-made Chapter 3 before anything official comes out. Yeah. Haven't seen a single fan game trying to be Chapter 3. Only very vague concepts on their own. Like, no one in the... Like, people are always like, it's gonna be so long before this happens that the fans are gonna... Like, it's gonna be so long till Silksong comes out that the fans are gonna make Silksong themselves. No, that's not gonna happen. Because none of us have talent. We're all stupid. We could never create something like Toby Fox. Or Ari Gibson. Obviously, this design I don't think is very accurate. I mean, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. It's a good design. Looks like a Rayman character. Like a Rayman 3 era character. Other than that, doesn't seem likely for this design to be anything close. Did I ask Wreck-It Ralph? Shut your mouth. Anyways. Like, this theme is good. Gives that the perfect idea that I'd have. This is one of the first ever mic designs and themes created. Very first mic theme ever created, I think. Second ever mic related video on YouTube. Mine was actually the first. Bragging rights. On YouTube only. There was Tumblr art or whatever. The Cursed Realms we do not dive into. Except actually, Sans Undertale wins the Tumblr Sexy Man Award. Is there a helicopter going over my house? Oh, this is unimportant. So yeah, I think it just deserves credit for that alone. For being one of the first. So this alone kind of developed one of the concepts I had. Well, there was already this idea that, like, if you look at my old Mike Deltarune art, wherever it is, also no one is here. I don't know why I'm talking. Not one person is watching. Why am I talking? I am really, really dumb. You can't close YouTube while you're streaming from YouTube. Bruh. That's not how it works. You can't do that. Anyway. This sounds like Cyberpunk. That's all I'm gonna say about that. This has no context for what it says, but I like the use of the whoop re-encounter, so something that's different. I just like the use of sound effects. I also have no clue what this is. Like, the regal encounter is where? But Garrett Fish makes some cool stuff. The ground is pies, and the cactuses are, looking like, yeah. They're freaking chairs, you moron. It's Toriel's chair. Anyway. Why'd I skip this one? I don't know why Toriel killed all the alligators in this scene. But, she killed all the alligators. This is pretty much the same thing as the last one, except a fake. So here, the reason Toby Fox didn't use this theme is because it didn't sound enough like, quote-unquote, being heroically punched in the face. If we encounter Undyne in Chapter 3, I doubt it will be of any heroic deed, and it will probably be more of a misunderstanding. So this theme can easily work because there is no heroicness in the fight. So yeah, definitely could return. Will Toby Fox just blatantly throw this in? Like, unedited, unchanged? Not likely. I don't think... No, he does reuse things. Just he doesn't reuse specifically Undertale things for Undertale things. It's like, he literally took one of his Earthbound fan album songs, and vaguely changed the pitch, and then made it an official Undertale song. And I'm not gonna tell you which one it is, because I don't know why, honestly. Just make you think. I don't know what. Nothing makes sense here. Welcome to the Nothing Makes Sense. The only things that make sense that I say are the things specifically about Deltarune lore. Anyway. This is obviously not going to be... But since this was an Undertale reference, in Henry Stickmin, imagine a double-layered reference, where Rules, or some other character, uses some similar gun and music to Macbeth in a Deltarune thing, so it would be a double reference. And it'd be a meta reference on top of being a double reference, because it references back to the original reference. So you get a character in Deltarune based on a character in Henry Stickmin, who was a reference to a character, not a character, but who is a reference to Undertale. Beautiful. Make it happen. Man. Here's the part 2 to the very first mic theme created. I put these in, like, I just imagining this purely for the sake of this getting respect, but I imagine that Mike will be, like, loose spirit, kind of like Mettaton, but not really, because Mettaton and the other ghosts are pretty casual, I guess. They're that inhabit objects. Nothing more to it. I imagine Mike as this sinister, like, he'll be funny. He'll be a goofy possibly literally making your mom jokes based on the fact that Chapter 3 is going to somehow be more silly than Chapter 2. And the fact that your mom is actually going to play an important part of the story. There will be a your mom joke in Deltarune Chapter 3, and I will bet my left pinky finger on it. Not really. Anyway, but no, I'll bet my left pinky toe on it. Because no one freaking uses your pinky toe for anything. What purpose does the pinky toe serve? Anyway. I do think the freedom / Jevil leitmotif that's used in these are definitely overstay their welcome. They're slipped in very haphazardly and don't fit in with the rest at all. Also, the use of Spamton's vocals returning seems a bit unnecessary, since everything's already so much Spamton that you're Spamtoning your Spamton. But, like, the idea that he's just this force, really, more like he is a spirit. He is a character that presumably died, and he's just haunting this robot body, I guess. The main leading theory for how Darkners have history is that they literally just spawn with history. They spawn with lore. It's literally just lore, like the events didn't happen. They might have. I do have a different theory, is that we're just poking holes into this dark world, and everything you see in there was already there. But the only problem with that is that those objects weren't always there. So when do the Dark Worlds spawn into existence? Yeah, there's the two most likely theories for the Dark World's entire existence is either Gaster created it or Gaster discovered it through experiments. Either way, experiments and Gaster were involved in the creation or in the existence of Dark Worlds. Their origin point starts with him, at least the known origin point. Their history starts with him. So, if they are object, like, the thing about them being that world is, for one thing, how many Dark Worlds can there be? And what makes a Dark World spawn? Places of importance? And if that's the case, what makes those places important? So far, we've seen an old classroom and a room in a library and someone's house. Sure, a person of importance house, but they are only going to become a person of importance after the Dark World shenanigans, and they weren't that important beforehand. I mean, they're more important in an alternate universe, but, like, how does that count? So yeah, more or less, I imagine he can be this haunting force. Like, this is how he appears in Chapter 2 as the face in the basement, is there was an old TV there, and he can just move between all the TVs. He's this strange spirit that's just connected to electronics. It can haunt and possess any TV it wants. TVs are just his preferred choice to haunt. And it's creepy, you know? You'll see all those smiling faces, all those TVs. There is going to be some layer of creepiness to Mike, at least, because why else would you have a sinister intro? A sinister sneak peek like the one in Chapter 2. Queen didn't have any foreshadowing or any of that, other than Jevil's one line, which didn't completely, like, it was weird, like, it ended up being a figure of speech. It wasn't actually hell, it wasn't actually whatever else Jevil said. She wasn't a freaking woman Satan. It was just... Is chat done? Said anything? Just... Nope. Chat has not said one word. Anyway. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. In a different context, her foreshadowing was kind of creepy, but there's no other context you can take a smiling face in the middle of the dark with an ominous noise on a TV. I mean, I guess you could, but, like, it's a big stretch. It's obviously made to be sinister. And it doesn't look like a happy smiling face. It looks like a threat. Pie. Yeah. Nothing else to say there. This is like... There will be Yoshi and Godzilla. I don't think there will necessarily be one and the same. But Suzyzilla is something that is definitely going to show its face in Chapter 3. No doubt about that. Suzyzilla will appear, whether it will be a gimmick or an enemy or whatever else. It won't necessarily be Suzyzilla, like it won't be named Suzyzilla, but the freaking stupid book that Azrael kept holding on to, the one that, yeah, that's gonna make an appearance. It's going to be a nightmare. It's gonna raise the age rating. Not really. But that's, like, undeniably gonna appear. And it was specifically a purple dragon, which connects it back to Suzyzilla and whatever else. This could actually happen because, I mean, Pirate Rules is such a random and unrelated thing to the rest of Chapter 2. So, I have a feeling it'll just continue this way. Like, I don't think that's going to be his only outing. Even though he already knows that he'll get stoned, that he'll solidify from being in the wrong Dark World. Like, he didn't even fully solidify unless you play the Snow Great route in Chapter 2, so he's probably going to test his luck with that. I don't know. But Gangster Rapper Rules is something that needs to exist, and I don't care what anyone says about it. Either way, Rules is definitely going to appear. If not this, it needs to be the Macbeth thing from earlier. For some reason, everyone's dead set on there being a desert in Chapter 3. I don't know why, but I've gone with it. It might have been a Breaking Bad reference the entire time and I didn't realize. This is a beautiful theme. I think this is one of the best, most traditional to actual Deltarune music fan-made themes that have ever been created. But the only problem with this and the entirety of this concept of Mike is that it's literally just spammed in 2. By making him the secret boss of Chapter 3, he's literally just spammed in 2. Versus being the main villain, which would of course put him in an entire different position, making him not spammed in 2, even if he behaved identically to Spamton. He's still not spammed in 2, because he's the main villain. Which is much different than a homeless man in a back alleyway. Then, as I've already shown off, this is going to be the run-in with the knight, where he freaking throws Spamton off a building. I mean, not Spamton, Mike off a building. And then we're going to fight his hand, and it's going to be one of the fights that you are not able to spare. You have to fight. Obviously, you're not killing or doing any real damage. It's a freaking hand. And I even imagine for his final attack, he will try to create a dark world. He'll grab his knife and charge up. So dark world is happening. You gotta stop it before it happens, or you get a special game over. Or just an insta-kill, and no actual special game over. Because Darkness Falls is the plane covered in the whole world being covered in darkness, just over the course of time. Like, if you just died, obviously it wouldn't instantly just happen, but eventually it would. So yeah, someone made a slowed down Nightmare Night, which is cool. And the slowed down one feels like it could actually be in Deltarune. Like, I feel like if they just put blatant Kirby sound fonts in Deltarune, there would be some issues somehow. And it just wouldn't feel in place. But with a pitch shift, a simple pitch shift, now it sounds like it can be in it. Anyway, the Holy, because that will be in all of them, probably. This says Chapter 3 leak, but I imagine this is Noel's house theme. Well, that's actually because it says that. But yeah, I think... Wait a minute. This doesn't make sense. This is the wrong placement. Unless I put this for something else. Either way, I'm gonna move that down. The door for the next chapter, the next Dark World checkerboard. This is a scrapped theme, making this the first, other than the ones that are just themes that have been reused, making this the first one that can actually appear. This could actually happen in Deltarune, other than the Nightmare Night and whatever else. This could actually show up. So I'm going to say if this does get reused, it will be reused for the Chapter 4 church area. What did I do here? Because what can you really put in a church area? Wine, yes. Bleachers aren't going to make much. The Bible, whatever the equivalent of the Bible. We could have an entire world as a book, which could be a big library of important lore. But, like, the entire point of a church is to learn about God and whatever else. So, like, it's going to be a lore-filled chapter. It's not going to have many jokes. It's not going to have many goofy locations. It's going to be a serious chapter, probably. I mean, the Angel's Heaven is going to be big, because outside of all the Gaster craziness, the Angel, the stuff that a casual player wouldn't know about, the Angel and the Titans are like the biggest stuff. So an entire chapter taking place in a place of worship of that character / entity is going to be big. And Jockington. Because Jockington. When I saw this description, I actually thought it was real. because that's actually a really good way. And we have seen songs from the scrapped alarm clock thing make a return. So, yeah. This is an... Stop with the ads. This is another one of those things. Another one of those songs that sounds good, but doesn't sound like it would be an official Deltarune song. This concept is great, though. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about the dream I had about Mike, where I basically had an entire dream about the area, about exactly what the final boss would contain, except with the difference of he becomes gigantic for no reason. I think that's dumb and probably won't happen, especially since we already had Giga Queen and Spam. But like the reason he became giant was because Spam did it. In fact, they in the dream we literally went to the Spampton area just for no reason at all. It just happened. But there was this minecart track that led up to the area with like the things we see in the Spampton basement, the the attacking cords, with those. For some reason with a different sprite. That doesn't make sense why they'd be a different sprite for the exact same thing. That's unimportant. But the party consisted of Chris, Toriel, and Noelle, which is interesting. Toby Fox is out here leaking Deltarune through our dreams. Keep note of your Deltarune-based dreams, because Toby Fox's own Deltarune dreams are what created Deltarune. At least Deltarune's ending. So keep note of your Deltarune dreams. What the heck was that? Keep note of your Deltarune dreams, because Toby Fox might actually be an astral god giving us dreams of this game. And I also had a dream of this, but it wasn't that notable. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I like the design. I don't know why she looks like Santa Claus or Papyrus, but it's a good design. I imagine she'll have great conflict with Susie for freaking stealing the hat. That's the only reason. I think. Let me think. Actually, where did that info even come from? I don't remember anymore. I genuinely can't remember where that info comes from. I assume it's from Caddy herself. But where? And even though Caddy's bundle of joy is Jockington, I imagine, given the right circumstances, she would end up in the Snowgrave situation of Noelle and Birdley. Like, she's already weird and into occult stuff and whatever not. Like, I can imagine her learning black magic through temptation. There will be Weird Route. Of course, Weird Route doesn't mean spooky, genocide, evil person, kill everyone route. It's literally called Weird Route. That just means a different route that is unusual and will probably be discovered through weird methods of backtracking and interacting with unusual characters. Oh yeah, of course, that will also be for Toriel and Undyne, maybe. I don't know. Killing off Undyne seems a bit out there. I don't know if Undyne will appear. So far, we've seen nothing but new faces. But, of course, now we have confirmation of Toriel. Not confirmation, but we have hints of Toriel. I can't imagine there not being Toriel. But, like, who's gonna be the Snowgrave victim of Chapter 3? Other than Undyne. It's just a bit out there for Toriel to kill Undyne, even with manipulation from her own child, by the way. That would how it would happen. literally from her own child. Like, Chris / the player convinces Toriel that that they're in a video game world. I don't know. That you gotta defeat the enemies to survive, and Undyne just happens to be one of them. Oh yeah, and of course, not to mention the effect of someone disintegrating into red ashes that is found in the files, which would definitely imply some insane fire attack. So yeah, Toriel will definitely be the Noelle of Chapter 3, but will probably not. But I don't feel like Undyne will be the Birdly, but what other options do we have? And who else could get involved in this? Like, why would Jockington and Caddy show up to our house? Like, oh yeah, well, the reason we know Undyne's gonna be there is because of Chapter 2's ending. It could also be Napstablook, but we know Napstablook won't be important because he doesn't get, or they don't get a name response from the naming system back in Chapter 1. More stuff. And freaking Splorby. Just Splorby. Nothing else. Just Splorby. Literally has no reason to exist, but should exist. And if Splorby isn't in Deltarune in the future, I'm going to file a complaint. This just needs to be made official for absolutely no reason. Epic rules battle. I don't know what kind of goofy nonsense he could come up with in a church chapter, so he could have a serious fight in a church chapter, maybe. I don't know. Not a single person has made any themes, any battle themes of the
Get free delivery through October 2nd. Gotta have a Wawa.
Of the Bishop headcanon character. Here's the Abyss. It's nothing interesting, but it could happen in a church yet again because it's going to be more serious in Lorefeld. So there's no way to really end this off. But I do believe that we'll have I can't imagine the Bishop being evil. It'll probably be in a similar vein to Queen. They've just got weird motives, weird methods. Like, it's religion, Think Highness. Highness's goal isn't bad. He just wants a paradise. But his methods, he just wants to get to a fabled paradise. But his methods are absolutely ridiculous. I imagine the Bishop having some strange devotion to the angel. Something, I don't know what else. Church chapter is a bit in the dark right now. But anyway, I believe that some strange ritual of some sort will take place, because Caddy, being this occult person entering a church of holy religion versus this person dabbling in dark arts, is definitely something I would see happening. And this Bishop character trying to enlighten her, trying to turn her to the right path, taking her in as an accomplice. Juckington's just gonna be there for the ride. Juckington's just a cool guy. Nothing else really going on there. He's just Jockington, you know. And I hope that unless the snow, other than this weird route thing, that Jockington will continue to have just one facial expression through the entire chapter, because it's amazing. But obviously you've got to stop the joke for the super serious, messed up moments. Even Birdley had different facial expressions for Snowgrave. But anyway, it's talking way too long on this. But I think that Caddy will get in the way. Like, I just want there to be a special gimmick, and I think a skateboarding or surfing or something crazy grinding. That's the thing. Not necessarily a skateboard or any of that, but grinding needs to be in there for some reason. And I just am imagining something similar to Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment's ending, where what's-his-face jumps in the way of the Enchantress's magic, gets turned into a crazy thing. I'm just imagining that for some reason. Like, Caddy will be the final boss, like, because what evil nonsense could a bishop do? Because, like, the obvious answer is summoning the angel itself, but this is way too early for that. That's not going to happen. Anyway, I've talked about this for way too long. On to something else. This is also official, so it could become real. So this could show up later. This could be either Noel's theme, some sort of endgame thing, or Noel's house theme, some sort of endgame thingy thing. It could be in an actual church. I mean, the actual school. But, like, I don't know, leaving school for some reason. Just the end. Anyway. This should definitely show up. This sounds like a flashback. This one is called Flashback, but this sounds like a flashback. I do believe, sure, it has been confirmed that the flashback sprites we found in the files, by we I mean everyone that isn't me, because I have no knowledge of anything like that. But they have been confirmed that those were a part of unused Queen attacks, but they're so on the nose. Like, why would those be Queen's attacks? And Queen has data of, like, everything, especially things of Noel. So, that could still be pulling from Noel's flashbacks. I do think there will still be a bad memory. Something happens, something broke them apart, deaths, whatever nonsense. Des goes missing during a birthday, because Carol, or whatever her name is gonna be, I think it's been confirmed it's Carol Holiday, the mother, is going to be neglectful or something. There's gonna be a fight during the birthday of someone, whether it's Des or Noel. This theme. It's called Flashback. I don't think Noel reminiscing about what literally just happened a few minutes ago should be considered a flashback. So I do think this will return. It will be a part of a terrible flashback of whatever happened to Des. Or at least what caused Des to go missing. Not necessarily what happened. And here's Carol Holiday theme. Oh yeah, I completely skipped over this. I don't know where to put this. It should happen, but where should it happen? I don't know. He better show up in future chapters because he's supposed to be the guy that shows up all over the place. But only if you do the side quest. You could have missed out on entire branches of dialogue and appearances of this guy in future chapters if you missed his quest. Also, he has a lot of weird unused sprites, so that would show some significance. I don't remember what those happen to be though, so yeah. More official Toby Fox stuff. I don't know why I put this here, because there's a lot of things probably that could all be in different parts of Deltarune. Dark Tunnel. Oh yeah, this. This sounds just like Noel's theme, with a few beats missing. It's like a shorter loop version. But obviously the part that everyone's paying attention more is this bit. Which could also turn in Deltarune for the Knight's Castle, maybe. If we're to assume that the person behind the tree is the knight, or at least a knight. This theme sounds like it could be remade into a Sinister Castle theme, so I'm going with that. This could appear in one of the little mini rooms, like how the first castle had that one room with the different song in it. Wait, obligatory drum loop. Beautiful. Okay, well, it seems I've put these out of order, or there was just a fast transition between the two. Oh yeah, and I believe that the secret boss for Chapter 3 will be a character. It doesn't have to be for Chapter 3, it can be literally any chapter. But one of the chapters, secret boss, needs to be not necessarily this design. This is just a design that I came up with because I think it looks cool. But first of all, Muffet, because we've seen literally nothing even remotely related to Muffet in any chapter so far. At all. And that's like Toby's favorite theme to reuse for no reason in completely unrelated boss fights, is the Muffet/Napstablook theme. So Muffet theme, remix, /Mad Mew Mew, /whatever else. Purple character, let's just add some purple. Boom, now it's Muffet. Spider legs, whatever else. Basically the premise is that they think they're in control. They think that they are the angel. This is kind of inspired by a cutscene from a game called Control, where they believed one room was the entire world, or they made a metaphor of if one room was the entire world. They've been locked behind a shop, and they believe that the room that they're in is the entire world and that they are the god of it, which is reflected by their design. Look, like they've got the angel wings, their head is shaped like the circle on the angel, and the spikes / whatever these were supposed to be are like the triangles that are underneath the symbol. Of course, she's just a puppet as well. It's just a design I came up with. There's absolutely nothing backing it up, other than the fact that so far, you could make an argument that the secret bosses are stages of guilt, but, I mean, not guilt, stages of grief, but in incorrect order. Because if it was in reverse order, Jevil would definitely be the first, but Spamton should be depression if we're going in the reverse order. I think they're just mixed matched, and they might not necessarily all be, but they will definitely be, like, this one is denial, obviously. Anyway, since this theme has the Knights theme in it, I believe this will return for the chapter with the Knight. Right, this is chapter 5, what I believe to be the chapter of the Knight. Because obviously no one's made too many themes for chapter. Wait a minute. But chapter 5 is going to be Noel's house. I just think that makes the most sense. It will be both Noel and Carol, whatever her name is, and it will be the Knight, because it's the freaking Knight. Of course, this could be rearranged. You could even put Carol beyond the Knight, since that's a character we honestly have even less on. But anyway, I've just compiled them into both because, yet again, we have barely anything to go off of. Newbert, secret boss. Newbert needs to be a secret boss because he's the only character that can travel. Like, there's very few characters that can travel between the Dark Worlds other than ones that we made happen. And the two so far, other than our characters, are Newbert and Starwalker. Newbert only really counts if you count the Newbert only counts if you count what was the exclusive Toby Fox version of Deltarune that he played on stream, where Newbert was added for absolutely no reason. He was in chapter 1. So yeah, Newbert better be in it. And he better be muscular. He better literally just be a JPEG of muscles plastered onto him, like the one in the Undertale art book on Papyrus. I believe that chapter 5 will be very climactic. It will have a bunch of final bosses. Like, the final bosses won't stop. Like a Kirby game level of that many final bosses. Because chapter 5 is obviously going to be the ending to this next batch of Deltarune stuff. So it needs to feel extra climactic. First, we get Rousey. I think that since there's, some Super Paper Mario inspired bits should happen, where characters will slowly, not get killed off, of course, but get, like, left behind because bad things are happening. It's gonna be crazy. Like, I imagine the Knight as the type of person to destroy his own castle to stop the heroes. A lot of devotion and whatever. So, Susie will get left behind. Only Chris and Rousey will make it to the final area, which will have a dramatic reveal. Because obviously Chris has been creating dark fountains, and that completely goes against the prophecy. I mean, that completely goes against their goals. And then we'll have an epic Rousey. Like, this is another one of the official themes, so it could return. It was originally going to be the legend, but we can always get it. Yeah. The grand reveal, plot twist, final battle. Yeah. Because obviously, Chris is completely going against Rousey's wishes. Rousey's plan, everything. It's pretty selfish, honestly. Regardless of what Chris's intentions are, like, they just need to spend more time with people. They want to have more adventures with Susie and just everyone. It's really selfish. So, and I don't think Rousey is the type of person to condone selfish behavior like that, especially when the end of the world is at stake. So we'll have this dramatic, crazy moment, because obviously Rousey knows. He freaking knows everything. I don't know why he knows everything, but he just does. So he will know everything. He knows that Chris has been creating dark fountains, and they're gonna need to fight. And the Knight in Chris must be... Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Because Chris is obviously going to be one of the Knights. There will be 4 Knights, because there's 4 Knights on a chessboard. 2 Light Knights, 2 Dark Knights. Chris is obviously one of them. And if this theory doesn't go, Chris is at least taking after the knight. But the point is, there's a knight in Chris. And this, which was once the King boss theme that was scrapped, will be Rousey's boss theme. This could also be the knight, because this theme actually appears again in another scrap theme. There's like no king anywhere in this song, so it can easily be repurposed to another person. Like there's no Lancer stuff. Unfortunately, only half of the song was created, but someone tried to show what it would sound like if it was finished. Of course, they did add some Lancer stuff to it, though. So obviously that'd need to be removed in order for this to work. But it sounds pretty good. Except I don't like that they added guitar to the first part. I think the first part was perfect. First part was perfect the way it was. So this will be Rousey's theme. And it fits even more. Luckily, they only added one Lancer part in this. So you could easily just snip that out. And then boom, Rousey theme. So yeah, they're gonna battle. Rousey's gonna reveal all his true power, which isn't gonna be some crazy godlike nonsense. He's just gonna be a fire mage and whatever else, light mage, something. He's gonna use stars, maybe. He's definitely gonna use healing spells on himself. And ultimately, Rousey will not be defeated. Well, Rousey might be defeated, but Chris is gonna have to defeat themselves. They're not gonna... So this is the Lancer part that would... This part goes hard. How it almost sounds like it's gonna twist into some creepy, depressing song. Reminds me back to those fan-made themes of versus Rousey and Susie. Those are still bangers. Even if the concept was dumb, those themes were bangers. I don't agree with anything in this image. I just like the music. So we're just gonna move the image away. But the real night, like, it'll be, like, Rousey's speech will be like, so we've made it to the final room of the night. So, Chris, tell me, where is the knight? Why isn't the knight here or whatever? And obviously because Chris is the actual knight. But, like, then we'll have, like, an internal battle of Chris versus the knight. But first it'll be, like, Chris just versus a giant towering knight figure. Not Chris himself, but themself, which is what we got here. If you're wondering why this looks so bad, it's because I originally made better drawings of these, but I stupided and they all got deleted because I'm dumb. But anyway, I made it slightly better in this image. And if you're wondering why I keep using male pronouns for the knight, oh yeah, I forgot. Knight foot in chapter 4. Just a moment. Because we need run-in. If we're going to have a run-in with the knight in chapter 3, we need some knight action in chapter 4 too. So, freaking giant foot. Why not? Boom. Chapter 5. Big old knight. It'll be interesting. I've had chat off this whole time. Oh my goodness, bruh. This person thinks Azrael is the knight, and Azrael will definitely be one of the knights, one of the light knights. But they're not going to be the main knight. Maybe, I don't know. Too many stuffs and things. This remix is kind of good, kind of bad. I mostly like it for, like, the first part can piss off to way to nothing. But I mean, it is a MIDI. But I like that they created unique bits. Like, first we'll have the giant towering generic knight evil dude. But then we'll have, like, an actual, like, Chris knight. We're going to battle face to face. With almost like a... Because obviously it's you, so we'll have equal power. So we'll have, like, that classic two swords clashing gimmick where you have the overpowered one. This part. So good. That might have always been the theme, and it's just in the back and I haven't realized. Anyway. But this theme, also official, so this can show up. Definitely like, this is another point against a point for Azrael being the knight, is this sounds like identical to his theme, but it's obviously with the knight theme. But either way, this would definitely be you coming to terms with the knight. In my concept, it would be coming to terms with the knight in your own heart. The Chris that wants to keep making adventures, the Chris that wants to just have life. Like, it's escapism is like one of the major themes. And this part, because obviously Chris is gonna have to realize they can't just put the world in danger so they can have more time to themselves, more time to escape reality or whatever else. Anyway. But there's one other aspect of Chris that needs to be combated. I do feel like the way, like, there's this thing, okay, this is not, and there's nearly no evidence for this. But for one thing, I just like this theme and think it should return. Obviously it can't because it's fan-made, but something similar to it would also be cool. There's this one sprite, which is the sprite of Chris being pinned against the lockers. It's always in the back of my head. It looks like a sprite of Chris hanging from a noose. And Chris wields a knife, just carries it around, can do whatever they want with it. And when I saw Amori in the part where, spoilers, you stab yourself, it gave me big flashbacks to the Chapter 1 cutscene, ending cutscene. Feels like something that could happen. Like, obviously it wouldn't, like, this is not that kind of game. With Jaru's theory, they could feel guilt and have a reason, but the only actual evidence is that Chris will excitingly choose death over whatever else. I forgot. Like, enthusiastically say death, apparently. according to Susie, in one of the dialogue options, Chris will enthusiastically choose death over whatever else. Oh yeah, Parrish or Bosom will enthusiastically pick Parrish. And it's not just because they despise the other option, because obviously just because you dislike one option doesn't mean you have to be loving the other one. So yeah, they are that kind of kid. And this one, the fountain this also has the night theme in it, so like Chris coming to terms with all the other messed up things in Chris's head. Like, this is sounding way too Amori for Deltarune, but I mean, Jarvis Theory is also way too Amori for Deltarune, so. Chris has definitely got some things, and like, get ready for controversy. Just being non-binary in general does raise some questions about, like, and obviously Toriel is religious, and presumably everyone else in their family also is, but like, Chris is definitely has some insecurities, for sure. But, you know, they're without any head. Hold up! Freaking that nonsense. I don't think that's supposed to be there. That is definitely not supposed to be on that level. Cool. You're new here, I think. I think all these people, the last two people have been new here. But anyway, what was I talking about? I don't remember. Yeah, an extra special fountain closing for the climactic closing of the next era of Deltarune. And with the night theme because it's about the night. You know, makes sense. Also, for the longest time, I've been thinking Everyman was the knight because Everyman is a stand-in for the main character. Like an actual Everyman outside of Undertale, Deltarune stuff. Just the term Everyman is a stand-in for a main character. So obviously, if Chris was the knight and Everyman was the knight, like if Everyman was the knight, Chris could also be the knight in a weird way. And Everyman was like this, like, I just thought of another thing. A dark fountain being created in Chris's house. If there's anything in that house that represents Chris, that could turn into the Everyman. And yet, again, the Everyman could be some, like, foreshadowing of what's yet to come with Jaru's time loop theory. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. Like, these things that I'm saying only make sense to me, and everyone else is probably thinking I'm on drugs. Anyway, Chapter 6, I believe, is going to be the calm before the storm chapter, or, like, the calm 80% and then the storm at the end that leads into the more storm. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about a secret boss for Chapter 4, I guess. I thought of... For some reason, the character I created looks very similar to the character someone else created, but it couldn't possibly be inspiration because that art got sadly deleted, like the others, before I even got to freaking post it. I made the art, and I stupided and got everything corrupted. So it's pure coincidence. Same with the other one, but I didn't even mention that. But someone else made a purple female character, so purple females are pretty popular for Chapter 3. Secret bosses, apparently. That's pretty weird that we were all mentioned. Anyway, but the reason that this arises is two things. The reason I believe the chapter secret bosses will be similar to Undertale bosses is two things. Obviously, Spamton is Metaton. That's not even questionable. Like, he literally uses Metaton's body, and his Spamton, like Metaton, it's not even in debate. Jevil is pretty reminiscent of Sans. Big smile, really hard boss. and slippers. So future chapter bosses will either be... So far, we got the yellow soul as the first soul gimmick. So and that's the last soul gimmick in Undertale. So we might be going in reverse order. So the purple girl is for Muffet thingy is chapter... is chapter... What am I doing? It could be the bosses, like someone also said it could be the genocide ones, because obviously Spamton Neo is a genocide... Metaton Neo is a genocide thing only. But there's not enough genocide bosses. Like, you could count Muffet as a genocide boss. Yes, you do fight Muffet in genocide. But unless you're being stupid, she'll always die in one hit. Even though she does have unique interactions on genocide, she'll almost always die in one hit, making her in the same boat as Papyrus. But, you know, maybe. I've been talking for way too long, but I'm gonna keep going. But, like, bruh, it's been an hour. Yeah, it's actually been an hour. Yes, Mike is real, basically. That's practically been confirmed by the fact that it's been confirmed that a TV world in Torio's house has practically been confirmed. So by practicality of practicality of practicality, Mike is real. Of course, he doesn't have to be named Mike. He could always just be some TV star dude. But a TV star, a TV world, and it taking place in Torio's house has basically been confirmed. I don't know what LFG is. I am assuming you meant to say lag, and you freaking misspelled it. I don't know why I said frickin'. I just frickin' sometimes. Frickin'. Frickin'. Anyway, back to what I was currently talking about. If it was the genocide bosses, how many genocide? Well, technically, we've got the same amount of genocide bosses if you include the duds. Oh. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Mike Deltarune is probably real. I don't think there's much of a debate anymore. Like, Mike Deltarune not being real at this point would be way more shocking than him being real. Like, when you have a completely unrelated reference to this super creepy Easter egg in a, like, unrelated, like, what I'm trying to say is there was this creepy face in the basement, and this creepy face was going to be in Birdley's fight. The first one, before you even get anywhere near Spamton. So, this character has to have significance and not be Spamton. Because why on earth would that be in Birdley's fight before you meet Spamton? And also, just why would it be there at all? Why are there references to Spamton before Spamton? It's not a big deal. It feels like one of those creepy Gaster Easter eggs, but it wasn't Gaster. Which connects Mike to Gaster even more. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that and get back to the thing, because at this point, this video is never going to end. But yeah, since there's 7 chapters, there's 7 souls. The souls are more likely than the character order. So, the chapter... So, chapter... What was it? 4? 4. Yeah, chapter 4 will have an Undyne type character. I couldn't imagine anything very original. I came up with Spade Knight. It was stupid looking. And also, you can't just have a knight that isn't the knight. Like, that's dumb. You can't do that. But yeah, that's what I came up with. But it looks really similar to the popular fan-made secret boss, commonly known as the other puppet, called Giga. It looks really similar. The only real difference being the face is also the same color as the armor. But it's weird that how similar they look. Of course, I can't compare them because the freaking art is dead. Because I'm dumb. Yeah, I do think there are multiple knights. But multiple knights, you can't have another knight character. If, like, the 4 knights are going to be important, not going to be secret bosses. They're going to be important main characters. So you can't have a 5th knight that is just not important. So my concept is dumb. It's just, there's not really many other things you can make out of an Undyne-based character. But basically, Chapter 3 is the Purple Soul, so Muffet. Chapter 4 is the Green Soul, so Undyne. And then, what's next? And then, Chapter 6... Wait, no. How did I forget Chapter... Oh, yeah, there's 2 soul... Oh, and another important thing is there's 2 entire soul gimmicks we've never seen in Undertale, which are Bravery and Patience. I believe that Bravery will be Chapter 5. Not for any reason in particular, but just because we've not seen it yet. And because Chapter 6 has to be Integrity for a reason I'll get to soon. The police station was closed in the screenshots? I didn't notice that. That's interesting. Maybe because no one's there? Because obviously Napstablook and Undyne are out investigating Chris's house because Toriel called. So maybe they've closed it because they're out? I don't know. Something is caught in my throat. But a way darker, more messed up thing is if this whole weird route Undyne thing ends up being true and the officer is just missing, they close down because the officer is missing. Imagine that. But then why would Toby Fox be showing screenshots of specifically the weird route? No clue. I don't know when any reason in the real world a police station would just be shut down. Or maybe Toby Fox just didn't want to put police station interactions in Chapter 4 and Chapter 3 since they are in Chapter 2. It's like, I won't be surprised if other places we were able to visit before are now closed down. I mean, we already seen that in Chapter 2. Asgore's house is closed down in Chapter 2 when it was open in Chapter 1 because Toby doesn't want to make interactions in every single location in every single chapter. So open different locations and close different locations, probably. But thank you for bringing that up, because I did not notice that. Anyway. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, souls. The Newbert boss needs to exist, and I don't care how dumb and how how it doesn't make any sense in any context, and how Newbert isn't gonna make any sense in the whole freedom stuff. What could he be? In a stage of grief, what could he be? Nothing. I can't think of anything. He's just a happy guy. He can't be Denial because I already picked Denial for a different character. He could be Denial. I could always be wrong. Like, I don't know. There's nothing that confirms that stages of grief are even important. But what is important is freedom stuff. Like, Newbert would have to be a free person, but we already have a free person. I don't think we're going to have 2 free people. Everyone else is going to be puppets, whether they think they're free or trying to become free. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Newbert is going to be all-powerful. He will have some importance. But anyway, I really need to hurry up. I am at 16 battery percent. Basically, I think Bravery will be the soul for the Newbert fight. Not because of anything Newbert related, but because you have to be really brave to challenge Newbert to a fight. So you just become bravery because you challenged him to a fight, not anything he did. Anyway, Chapter 6 will be the oddball out. It will be the calm before the storm. So there's this neat thing that's been going on, you may have noticed. We've been able to collect little bits of money throughout chapters by doing really terrible things. You could steal from Azrael, and you can sell Undyne's gift to Sans instead of giving it to Alphys. Like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? And so far, there's been nowhere to spend money, not even in the grocery store, not in the diner, no places to spend money. So, what if, hear me out, the dog shrine that has been underneath Papyrus' sink is a dark world, and the only way to access this special dark world is to get that money from the other chapters and give it to the dog shrine. Like, people have already thought that maybe Papyrus' sink will be a dark world. Like, it's too good to not be true. And unironically, Toby Fox himself has the most evidence for him being the knight, because that's where the dog was last seen. Unfortunately, we didn't see the dog in the light world in Chapter 2. We know he did donuts. We know he drove across the street. Nothing else. That does not give us hints on anything. Unless we can calculate where he drove to, we don't know. He's conveniently missing. But wherever he goes next will likely be where the next chapter goes. Obviously, it's a meta joke about him creating the next game, the next chapter in there. But I mean, the whole game is a meta joke at this point. And just a not meta joke. Just a meta in general. But anyway, I think there will be a secret. Like, Chapter 6, if you don't get all the money, will just be a calm area where you can chill in the light world. Obviously, we've already been confirmed that there will be more light world focus. And Sans said, Papyrus will be... You'll finally be able to play with Papyrus around the time your brother comes home, which would be Chapter 7, based on the fact that he's coming home next week, which is 7 days. It's Chapter 7. Of course, that could mean Papyrus will be Chapter 7, but around the same time, not when it happens. So it could very easily be Chapter 6. And there's a specific reason I picked Chapter 6, and we'll get to that in a minute. It's a pretty stupid reason, but it's such a Toby Fox thing to do. But I'll get there soon enough. I'll just show the stuff that I picked for it. Obviously, this is the Toby Fox room, how you get to the Toby Fox room. There's this unused dog hole song. Why would, if this is for the same place as the one we just looked at, why would he pick that one over this? This one sounds so much better. Hold the frick up. I just heard a leitmotif to a song that I don't even know what game is from. I only know it from Boshi. From I Want to Be the Boshi, a game that probably no one recognizes the name of. Yeah, there was a mouse in the Dark World screenshot. I did notice that. But I just heard a theme that sounded like the first area theme in I Want to Be the Boshi, which is stolen from a different game. Oh, you do remember that game? That's pretty cool. It's rare to see Boshi fans. Well, not necessarily fans, but just people that know it exists at all. It's a pretty dorky game. It's freaking hard as mess. I've never played it, but I saw it, and it's funny. My personal favorite part is when a JPEG of a ferret just jumps across the screen. But yeah, that sounds just like it. That first part. gonna have to get that right now. I have to. Yeah, Prehistoric 2. That's the game it's from. Copyrighted for this, and I'm gonna get sad if I do, but I don't see copyright in the description of this, so it shouldn't matter, babe. I don't think this is the part. It's like a later part. I don't know. There, that's the part. Not only that part, it comes later again. I just remember a part with a guitar. Where's the guitar? I remember that part, yeah. This part. So one of the early parts and that part, I swear. That part is what I'm hearing in the dog hole song. This is not something it has anything to do with anything else. Yeah, it sounds freaking just like it. Anyway, back to actually Deltarune related stuff. Yeah, the chapter, like Papyrus. I think Papyrus might himself could also be the person that creates the chapter 6 fountain, because Papyrus being the knight has some pretty good evidence. He needs friends, so like he figured out that he can just make his own friends. Either way, some chapter in Papyrus's house with Papyrus, featuring Papyrus and Sans. Can't forget that. The song that might play when you fight Sans might finally come into play, because why does this song exist and why is it a part of the official OST when it's not played anywhere in the game? It doesn't make sense. And also, like, yeah, I do believe that. The roaring will happen. It also has Papyrus' theme in it, so it could be a duo Sans versus Sans and Papyrus fight. I don't think it will be anything malicious. I mean, does this song sound malicious to you? I think it will be like a sparring match of some sort, or a goofy, I don't know. Papyrus goes into an RPG world. I mean, what do you think's gonna happen? I've got the trailer version, because I think because, oh, by the way, fun fact, this was going to be the battle theme of Deltarune. Or, as Toby Fox quotes, it was the battle theme of an RPG that I was making before I gave up on it. Unless he made a completely different game and just didn't, because we know the reason he made Undertale before Deltarune isn't because Deltarune was a sequel. Deltarune came first. It was just harder to make, so it lines up with the whole he gave up on it. Of course, the popularity of Undertale definitely reinvigorated hope that he would make it one day. I am at 12%. This is going to end soon. It better... This theme better return, because it's so stupid that it needs to return. Why is this theme even a thing? It doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the dog themes, and they could have easily used a different one for this scene. Anyway. So yeah, a whole dog-focused chapter. Optional. You could just chill. Of course. It's going to have that. This is an alternative for Papyrus. It's a pretty good one. Garrett Fish makes some pretty cool stuff. This theme. Does this not sound like an area for a big, open, medieval world like Deltarune's? It also has Papyrus's theme in it somewhere, which, of course, makes sense for the original game. It's in Papyrus's house, under Papyrus's sink. But here, the Papyrus theme starts about here. I don't quite hear it, but someone else said it. But it sounds way too epic for a single gag. Well, not a single gag, but for one PlayStation exclusive gag full of pointlessness. The whole joke is that it is completely pointless to do so. And then we could have this as an entire area. Not actually. But like, you could take all the dog stuff and make a whole world out of it. The dance of dog, of course. We could forget that. The sigh of... And this! Yeah, Sans could be in on the whole Dark World thing. Like, this Dark World was probably something they've already gone in and out of. And Sans could have an entire casino in there. Just, like, imagine the casino being an entire area in that Dark World. That would be amazing. Also, Sans hints at Snowgrave in that, and some people have caught on to it. But it's pretty cool that it's there. Yeah, Sans has like, if you fill up the area with too many white balls of whatever they're supposed to be, he will say something about a blizzard, and I haven't seen a blizzard this bad since, and then cuts off or whatever. There's this theme. Sounds like a minigame. Was originally for an alarm clock, repurposed into a debug room. But we could easily have a Toby Fox car racing thing. Oh yeah, that's literally what the comment right down there says. Of course, Toby Fox's own room. The dog check from Chapter 1. Metal Max better come back. I know Toby Fox already literally confirmed he won't use it, but he still needs to use it. It was literally just a doodle he made of a car on dog tanks. It also flies and has missiles. It has an airplane form and missiles. Obviously, this is outdated from Chapter 2 theorizing. We don't need to look at that anymore. Sans the Ace of Spades, which is something I believe is true. Sans is a Darkner and is actually the Ace of Spades. Of course, that art, like, that looks less Ace of Spadey than his normal design. It's just a gray jacket, a gray coat. Pretty much kept this here just for the Ace of Spades connection. Actually, no. Deltarune is pretty cool.
Official sponsor of the college football playoff. Jimmy John's. Save 20% on pickup orders when you order online.
The unused fountain theme should definitely come back. It will come back. I just like this for this one part. There's no reason to change the main theme of Megalovania to whatever this is supposed to be. But this... And that just sounds like a bunch of nonsense. This part, it hits different. Of course, this was still when people were believing about the whole genocide Chapter 2 thing. Of course, doesn't have to be that. There can still be a Sans fight. Like, going back to the whole thing about every secret boss being one of the souls, instead of a character that represents Sans, How about Sans himself? Perfect. But anyway, yeah. Sure, Jevil kind of represents Sans, but he can't be the Sans boss because he doesn't have a blue soul gimmick. This is also going to be in the Toby Fox Dark World because it's such an important thing. This is probably one of the earliest things. It has important connections to the in-universe, like the real-world lore of Deltarune and its creation. This music appears, the dog dating music appears from freaking... What was it? Oh yeah, it just came bundled with the collector's edition. There's no context to its existence. So, dating Toby Fox in Chapter 6. Real. Obviously, Chapter of 6's boss fight will be the dog itself. Which could honestly be the knight or the knight in a different form. Because I think it's a decently known theory that the dog and Gaster are one and the same. They're all totems. I think there's enough people that know about that to not have a big shock from hearing me say that. Also, the glitch happened. Oh, thank goodness it didn't. But if it isn't the knight itself, it could be like the knight's pet. And then we have, because that wasn't intense enough, so we have to have an even more intense version of that. Also, may I just say that this thumbnail is a complete ripoff of the other thumbnail from literally the other video? Why don't I have... Where is the Xbox theme? Because this is the closest we have to an official, Toby Fox boss theme. Like, listen to this. Yeah, I mean, that would work. It unfortunately just has a lot of background sound effects because there's no way to properly remove it from... Oh, spoilers, 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 more spoilers. Oh, big spoilers. Ooh. Just more alternatives for this. Temmie theme. Which, not a lot of people realize that this uses leitmotifs from Temmie's actual game. Obviously, Temmie Chang's a real person. The game is called Dweller's Empty Path, and you should check it out. It's not revolutionary, but it just being a part of this Toby Fox, Temmie Chang cinematic universe makes it cool. This character right here appears in Sham's shop, which is actually the main character from that game. And just a character that Temmie has used as her icon for a really long time. I think Temmie will serve as a different kind of secret boss. Like, it will be a secret boss, like... Yeah. It is a shame. there's also a Deltarune reference in that game. But I completely forgot, like, all the shadow crystals and all the eggs. There will obviously be more eggs in all the chapters. That's not even a question. But it will not involve the weird route because you literally can't get the egg in chapter 2 on the weird route. So the weird route will be its own separate thing. It'll be weird, obviously. But getting all the eggs and all the shadow crystals will unlock the bunker, probably. I mean, it's not revolutionary stuff, but, like, what else would it do? And since Temmie is already going to become, like, he says here, as if you can even envision it, that's an actual quote from Temmie if you interact with them after getting the eggs. Temmie will be the guardian of the bunker. The very first Light World fight. Because obviously Temmie's the guardian of the eggs. Heck, the last egg, yeah, that's something I just came up with right now. The last egg is held by Temmie herself. Not. Yeah, that's why it stands out so weird. They always, like, that's the thing about Temmie you may have not have noticed. It only happens if you do specific interactions, like refuse to sell Temmie things. But Temmie will break character from their crazy goofy, and they will sound very, very threatening. One of Temmie's lines from refusing to sell them stuff is, "You will regret this." That's not a joke. Look it up. Yeah. That's another one of the times when Temmie breaks character. Oh yeah, Temmie also wears a backwards cap, just like in Dweller's Empty Path. So that's cool. Also foreshadows of Dweller's Empty Path, because it's in Chapter 1, Temmie was reading a comic of Hot Demon Guys, and one of the main characters from that game, and from the previous Temmie game, which was Escape Chasm, features a quote-unquote hot demon guy. I don't know if that's even accurate for what he's supposed to be, but whatever. We don't really know. We're waiting on the next game, /comic, /whatever Temmie's going to make on it. Also, this is an official Toby Fox song. For one of the characters in Dweller's Empty Path. Also, apparently, for Temmie's birthday. That can easily replace the other thing, but I put it in here because it needs to be shown. Obviously, after you open the bunker, what do you think is going to happen? Wait, it started in the middle of it. This is still, out of all the fan-made Gaster themes, this is one of the best ones. We'll have the Twisted Gaster. I think it's common knowledge at this point that there's two Gasters, one from the Undertale world and one from the Deltarune. Which one's the broken one? Probably the Undertale one. But the broken Gaster, which is also Toby Fox, which is why Temmie is guarding it, is what's going to be in the bunker, is the broken Gaster. The bunker will not be its own Dark World. I mean, it could be, of course. This is just my theory. Because there's so many creepy unused lines in Deltarune. I have an entire tab open for it. Let's read them all. And they obviously are for a Gaster encounter. Don't question any of my other tabs. They're not important. No, well, you gotta see it now. SpongeBob did 9/11. Where is it? Don't tell me. Okay, here it is. Deltarune failsafe text. There's so much of it. It's so weird. It's obviously supposed to, and even as translations, which confirms it's not just unused text. It's going to show up because why else would it get translated if it was just unused text? Can I find it all? Suddenly, this has to be one of the earliest ones since it appears in Chris's room. Suddenly, your body seizes up. What are you looking at? One of them is, you can't read these symbols. Or maybe it's just the handwriting, which is obviously those same... I can't find them all. They're scattered everywhere, but they exist. That's the most common, most known one. Is that a cut on your face or a part of your eye? The gash weaves down as if you cry. The pain itself is the reason why. Which is apparently a gasterized version. Yep, that's a word now, gasterized. Version of a classic placeholder text called Lorem Ipsum, which is like pain itself teaches. I can't find all of them, but there's a lot of them. They're really creepy, and they all tell a connected story. Going into the bunker, seeing a bunch of scattered papers all over the ground, seeing something disturbing, freezing up, and something talking to Gaster. What could be down there talking? Or is it just some disembodied floating voice? Or is Gaster talking to himself in third person? Something weird. This almost seems, the way it's speaking almost seems like something Rouse would say, but I can't imagine Rouse being here during this. I feel like Chapter 6 will have just you, just Chris, no Susie, no Rouse. Oh, well, of course, in Sands of Papyrus. Because why on earth would Susie join you to hang out with Papyrus? Yeah, they say Lorem Ipsum. I think it's intentional. I don't think that's actually a placeholder text, because they are the creepy, glitchy dudes. But I can't find it all. There's so much of it, and it's all important. But no one, because of course he can't just post a simple all of them in one big collection. But I think if I go to a few, that one Gaster... I don't even know why I included this next one. This one seems a bit much. I don't think anything like this is going to be seen. But, right here. This one doesn't even sound like a boss fight theme. This is a world theme, which is what I literally just commented here. Here's some more. It could not be. You grasp at nothing. An emptiness filled your hands. It is known. Can you see me? Your voice echoes aimlessly. Your eyesight became blurry. Your heartbeat quickened. And just... What? Yeah, those are all real text. Which completely describes... Yeah, obviously that video is a Gaster reference. Anyway, back to not insanity. Sort of. This theme will obviously play again. Oops. Don't do the... whatever that is. I believe Sham... Obviously not counting that, because that's its own special secret boss that can only be accessed... But anyway, the reason I chose Chapter 6 for the Papyrus Sans Gaster thing, which, at this point, I think can happen. Obviously, everything we've seen has basically confirmed that Toby is not going out of his way to trick fans into making incorrect headcanons, as that he's gonna troll us hard, and he's not going out of his way to piss people off. He's done quite a lot of fan service. So a Sandgaster Papyrus chapter is not out of the realm of possibility. But the last traditional secret boss will be Sham. Wait a minute. I just realized. If this is in chapter 7, and what I just mentioned is in chapter 6, then you can't have all the shadow crystals by that point. Well, I'm dumb. Whatever. Obviously, this isn't going to be perfect. This is one dumb idiot making a bunch of ridiculously absurd and specific headcanons and theories. But one thing I don't think is ridiculously specific is the idea of Sham being final secret boss. You gather him all the shadow crystals. He's not going to be a traitor. I think he's going to get corrupted by it. There's too much power. Also, in case you didn't notice, you can see one of the shadow crystals, or at least some sort of crystal ball, in the background of Sham's shop. So he already has one of them. So there only need to be 6 others up until this point. And maybe there are also only 6 eggs. So maybe you only need 6. It is chapter 6. I found the workaround for my plot hole. Yeah. He's definitely strong. But I think he's going to get corrupted by the power of the shadow crystals. There's too much power. And also, he already looks kind of like Gaster. Like, he'll give us... He might be... Like, I don't know. We don't know what the shadow crystals are, so we don't know if they're Gaster's power. Yeah. Sham has knowledge way beyond anything we know. Probably more knowledge than Rouse. Because he knows where we're going next, even though that fountain hadn't existed yet. So, there it is. He has his own shadow crystal. It's basically beyond... No, wait. No, it's not beyond confirmed, but one of the popular theories is that the shadow crystal can see into the future, and he just looked in it, and he's like, oh, well, you're going to fight that person. So, let me prepare you on something. Oh yeah, another reason I made the chapter 3 boss a Muffet type thing is because it's going to have you on strings, and you're going to need the shadow mantle to avoid said strings, to teleport between them. Like, since they're all going to be upgraded from the Undertale gimmicks, it would only make sense. Anyway, back to this. Sham will be the patience gimmick because Sham isn't in any rush to get anything done. He's just here for the ride. He doesn't have any particular hope. He doesn't have anything. He's just going to see what happens. He does have his own goals, probably. He does have things he wants you to do, but he's not going to rush you to do it. So he's patient. He's going to be the patient soul. So yeah, I think that's one of the more sensible theories of these. Titanfall is an amazing fan-made track, but unfortunately, it's been topped by a brand new Roaring track. But this, I always imagined you fighting the Titans from afar. Like, they just laser you to death from their eyes on their body or whatever. I'm at 3%. I need to hurry up. They would laser you to death freaking. You look like you're in a scripted fight that you can't win. But this person made a concept that's way better than that. Like, look at this. No, I want to finish this playlist at least. And this music is amazing. Listen to it yourself. I can't show it, of course, because we're gonna freaking frick. Piss off with this ad. I don't even remember Gaster's Lullaby. What is this?
And demolish your hunger. Also try chocolatey payday.
Oh, I remember this one now. Everyone's heard this. I'm pretty sure anyone who's been a part of Pretty sure anyone who's been a part of the Undertale fandom knows this song. It's still really epic, but kind of loses its epicness when you hear it so much. Okay, my thought for the true final boss of Deltarune, which can only be obtained by special means, is you versus Gaster. But in a much cooler way than people have been expecting. Because Gaster is Toby Fox. It's the player versus the creator of the game. The whole world is just a chessboard, and the characters you've met are just the pieces. You're going to fight, and the secret bosses are the pawns. You're going to fight the king, the queen, all under Gaster/Toby Fox's control. No better way to end it, and it fits perfectly with the fact that Toby had a fever dream and made this the game. So, these empty versions of all the secret boss themes will fit perfectly. Not just the secret boss themes. Also, listen to this. You can hear the Gasters perfectly with this. I completely skipped it because I'm dumb. Boom. Anyway, basically, yeah. This can play at the end again. This... If you know, you know. This was gonna be the intro, but it could be the ending. This has that Rouse thing, or the King Unused Orchestrated Remix. Listen. That's obviously the theme. This theme is great and should be the credits theme. And that's the same idea as that one. Okay. I'm gonna have to end this without saying anything, or my phone is gonna freaking die. Help! What? 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 Stop! 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 Let me end the stream. I'll turn my phone sideways, whatever. Oh no. I had a little bit more to show you, but it's not letting me. Well, you know what? My phone might as well die then. I'm gonna show whatever else I can. It's not letting me end the stream. Okay, or I can end it there. Can I squeeze this last bit in? I don't know what's gonna happen if my phone dies midstream. I don't want to find out, but I'm just gonna drop this here. Come on, show the image. There. It's funny. It's comedy. What else can I show? What else do I have, actually? I don't think I have anything else. Good.